Hello, I'm Saul Muerte and welcome back to Library of the Occult. Over the course of this series, we've encountered witches, demons, occult societies, antichrists, forbidden rituals, and supernatural forces that lurk in the shadows of human experience. But today's book asks a rather different question. What if magic isn't merely a source of stories? What if magic has rules? What if, like science, it operates according to principles that can be observed, studied, and perhaps even understood? Today we're exploring Philip Bonewits' Real Magic, an introductory treatise on the basic principles of yellow magic. Originally published in 1971, Real Magic occupies a unique place within Dennis Wheatley's Library of the Occult. It is neither fiction nor practical spellbook. Instead, it is an ambitious attempt to construct a theoretical framework for understanding magical phenomena. Whether you accept Bonewits' conclusions or remain deeply skeptical, there is no denying the significance of this work. More than 50 years after its publication, it remains one of the most fascinating attempts to reconcile the worlds of magic, religion, psychology, and science. Philip Emmons Isaac Bonewits was one of the most influential figures in the modern pagan and neo-Druid movements. Born in 1941, Bonewits possessed an extraordinary curiosity about religion, mythology, anthropology, and the occult. Perhaps most famously, he became the first person in the United States to earn a degree in magic from the University of California, Berkeley, where he studied comparative religion during the late 1960s. This achievement, while partly tongue-in-cheek, reflected Bonewits' lifelong commitment to treating magical traditions as serious subjects worthy of study. Throughout his career, he served as an author, teacher, priest, and scholar, helping shape contemporary paganism and Druidry. What distinguished Bonewits from many occult writers was his insistence that extraordinary claims should be examined critically. He was interested in understanding. He was not interested in blind belief. And it is this spirit of inquiry that drives Real Magic. Before going further, it's worth addressing the subtitle. Bonewits uses the term yellow magic to describe a broad category of psychic and magical phenomena that can, at least in theory, be studied and analysed. Unlike the moral distinctions traditionally associated with white and black magic, yellow magic concerns itself with understanding the mechanisms behind paranormal experience. How does telepathy work? What is clairvoyance? Can ritual influence consciousness? What role do symbols, intention, and belief play in magical practice? These are the questions Bonewits seeks to answer. What makes Real Magic so unusual is its methodology. Bonewits uses and approaches magic almost like a scientist, drawing upon anthropology, psychology, psychics, physics, folklore, religion, and parapsychology. He attempts to establish a set of laws governing magical phenomena. In many ways, the book resembles an occult textbook. Bonewits proposes concepts, defies terminology, and constructs theoretical models designed to explain experiences that have traditionally been dismissed as superstition. The result is a book that feels remarkably modern. Even readers who reject the existence of magic may find themselves intrigued by Bonewits' reasoning, because at its heart, Real Magic is really a book about human experience. How do people interpret unusual events? Why do certain rituals produce profound psychological effects? How does belief shape perception? And where do we draw the line between objective reality and subjective experience? One of the book's most enduring themes is the relationship between belief and reality. Throughout history, cultures across the world have developed magical systems. Despite enormous differences in language, geography, and religion, many of these traditions share striking similarities. Bonewits argues that this consistency may point toward underlying principles governing magical practice. Whether readers accept this argument or not, the observation itself is compelling. Humans appear hardwired to seek meaning. We create rituals, we construct systems, we search for patterns. The desire to understand hidden forces has accompanied humanity for millennia. In that respect, real magic is not simply a study of the occult, it is a study of human curiosity itself. Perhaps the most fascinating tension within the book lies between skepticism and wonder. Bonewits does not ask readers to abandon reason. Instead, he encourages them to remain open to possibilities while applying critical thought. This balance feels especially refreshing in contemporary discussions surrounding the paranormal. Too often, conversations become polarized between absolute belief and outright dismissal. Bonewits occupies a middle ground. He suggests that mystery deserves investigation rather than unquestioned acceptance or immediate rejection. This willingness to explore uncertainty may be the book's greatest strength, because genuine inquiry begins with admitting that we do not possess all the answers. Although real magic is primarily theoretical, a cautionary thread runs throughout the work. Bonewits repeatedly emphasizes that magical systems, if they exist, operate according to principles. And like any powerful system, misunderstanding these principles can lead to unintended consequences. This idea echoes throughout both folklore and horror literature, from Faust to Frankenstein, from ancient myths to modern horror novels. Humanity has repeatedly warned against tampering with forces we do not fully understand. Knowledge matters. Discipline matters. Respect matters. Whether discussing chemistry, religion, or ritual, ignorance carries risks. In many respects, Bonewits argues that magic should be approached not with fear, but with humility. The inclusion of real magic within Dennis Wheatley's collection is particularly significant. Much of the library consists of stories, tales of supernatural conflict, temptation, prophecy, and forbidden knowledge. Bonewits offers something different. He attempts to step behind the curtain. Rather than asking whether magic makes for compelling fiction, he asks whether magic itself can be understood. In doing so, he provides an intellectual foundation for many of the themes explored throughout the series. Books such as Moonchild, The Devil's Mistress, The Witch of Prague, and Black Magic all assume that occult forces operate according to certain rules. Bonewits attempts to explain what those rules might be. For that reason alone, Real Magic stands as one of the most important and distinctive volumes in this entire collection. More than 50 years after its publication, Real Magic remains provocative, ambitious, and deeply thought-provoking. Some of its scientific references inevitably reflect the era in which it was written. Certain theories may strike modern readers as speculative, yet the book's central questions remain as relevant today as ever. How do belief and experience interact? Can the unknown be studied? And are there aspects of reality that science has yet to explain? Whether approached as occult philosophy, intellectual history, or speculative inquiry, Real Magic offers readers something increasingly rare, an invitation to think. Philip Bonewits may not provide definitive answers, but he encourages us to ask better questions, and perhaps this is the real magic. Thank you for joining me for another journey through the Library of the Occult. Until next time, I'm Saul Muerte, Ancient Shadows, Modern Stories.